I'd like to call the meeting to order, Monday, November 26th. And if you'll please join Councilman Pizzillo for the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation. Please stand for the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Almighty Father, please look over this body on this dais as we do the business for the city. Give us wisdom, help us make great decisions. And as everybody leaves tonight, please look over everybody, make sure they have a safe ride home. In thy name, amen.
Amen.
Well, as I look around, we're all here, but I'd like to greet our councilman, our new councilman, Jennifer Barber. Welcome.
Thank you.
I know you must be very excited for your first meeting.
Very.
Well, we're happy to have you here. It's nice to see Gary's seat filled in, and I'm sure he'd be very happy knowing that you were in that seat.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's, we have no communications tonight, and so let's go to the time for citizens who would like to address the city council on any non-agenda item. Do we have some?
Yes, I have one speaker card. Carolyn Rhoda?
Well, that's a familiar name. That was somebody I was going to speak about this evening, so welcome.
Thank you, and I'll try to keep the 3 minutes. That's tough for me. My name is Carolyn Roeder, and I live in the community of Pebble Creek, and I am also honored to be the chairperson for the Pebble Creek 2012 Veterans Day Parade. And I am here to present to the council members a certificate of appreciation for participating in the parade and supporting our veterans. I thank you all so very much for giving your time to say thank you to them.
Well, I think you ought to stay up there and bring your husband up there too, please. This is the wrong thank you. That we appreciate that, but it's the both of you that have taken this and it has grown. And so I'm going to give the council, because you deserve it, a moment here just to talk about that parade. So who would like to start? All right, Sherry.
I'll start. Thank you. I want to thank both of you. It is actually one of the highlights of the year, your parade. I love it. My family loves it. It's great to see all the veterans out there and all the hard work. And she organizes like a true New Yorker. That's all I can say. So thank you both so much. And anything you need next year, I want to be included. I love it. Thank you.
I love watching your daughter grow up.
Joe?
Carolyn, there's nobody can put a parade on like you do. And I saw there as we were organizing, was getting ready to take off. You were putting them all in shape, getting them all lined up to be where they were. But I would like to tell you, my grandkids really look forward to that, and so do I. But I mean, they sit there waving the flag, and again, I don't know if anybody could put on a better parade than you guys did. So again, thank you for doing this, and I hope you have many, many successful years in the future. Thanks.
Councilman Stipp?
You know what, to echo what everyone has been saying, but Joel, what an incredible event. But the other side of it is what an incredible thing that you're doing for our veterans. And I know several of them that attend the parade filled with a lot of pride and appreciation for not only the parade itself, but the numbers of people that come out and support it, waving flags and proudly displaying their service branch sweatshirts. Usually this year I think it might have been T-shirts. But thank you so much for that, and thanks for what you do for them. Thank you.
Wally?
Well, Carolyn and Joe, I know how much work you did, because I too live in the Pebble Creek community, and I received your 5,211 emails regarding this parade. But truly, you have accomplished something that we're all so very proud of. I know that Mr. Robeson and the people, all of Pebble Creek, appreciate what you've done. We have a huge military contingent, retired contingency in Pebble Creek, and what started out to be just a little hometown parade to show our golf carts off and to say thank you to our veterans has grown into something that we're all so very proud of. And we do thank you, because the hundreds and hundreds of hours that you and Joe both spend on Well, Joe, you're there cooking food for yourself while Carolyn is out doing her thing. So it's a family affair. But thank you so much. We appreciate it. But most of all, thank you for including us in your parade. We're very honored to be there and to say thank you to all of our veterans. So
Vice
thank
Mayor?
you.
Well, what else to add? You're a great American. You really are showing your support, and you're helping us show our support. And really, I think the last thing that I can add is what was special that you added this year, and that was that bald eagle that was riding around. And it was awesome to see, and I really appreciate all the hard work you've done. Thank you.
It really has become, it's your parade, and it's Pebble Creek, but it's become a city activity. We see more and more each year people coming into the community, and and so many young people were there, so many small children. And it's great to be able to teach them at such a young age patriotism, and we don't want that to die. So it's so funny because I suggested staff we give you an award. So tonight, so sometime down the line, I would still want to do that because we had talked about that. But again, thank you very much, and one more time, a round of applause for both of you.
I think I have a minute left. You must have missed one or two emails because there were more than that. And my reward are the faces of the servicemen, saying just the smiles on their faces and the pride and the joy that they have. And I live in a community that has a beautiful plaza, and we should utilize it. And we have let the VFW come in and do certain ceremonies there also during the year. So that's good, and I thank you all for your kind words.
You're
Next
welcome.
year.
You're welcome. All right, now is the time. Are there any speaker cards for agenda items?
We don't have any more for non-agenda item.
Okay. I'm sorry, I said agenda items and non-agenda items. Thank you. The council, well, since we don't have any for non-agenda, let's go on down to the consent agenda. We have a little difference. I just want to let you know that we're going to have to vote twice on this because we have to recuse Councilman Stipp. Okay, so if you will go, what we're going to plan on doing is we'll do A and D.
Okay.
Okay, and then we'll do the motion on that. And then Bill will recuse himself for B and C. So I don't know how you have to read this. Do you just read them through and then we do the motions on
Yeah, I
those?
can read all of them, and then we
Okay,
can do
all right,
A.
great, thank you.
Item A, approve draft minutes of a regular meeting and a special meeting that were held on November 5th, 2012. Item B, adopt resolution 12-1515, approving a facility use agreement with the Maricopa County Community College District on the behalf of Estrella Mountain Community College for the use of the Avondale Goodyear Fire Training Facility. Item C, adopt resolution 12-1516, authorizing the city manager or designee to execute an educational services agreement with Maricopa County Community College District on behalf of Estrella Mountain Community College for the provision of certain educational services. Item D, approve the request for a comprehensive sign package amendment for Baldridge Commons, a 9.1 acre commercial center, Zone C2, general commercial, located at the northwest corner of Dysart Road and Van Buren Street, subject to stipulations.
Thank you. Does anybody from the public wish to remove an item on the consent agenda? Well, we don't have that. And so does anybody on the council wish to remove a consent agenda? Okay, thank you. Well, then if I could hear a motion first, ladies and gentlemen, for A and D, a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
I hear a motion by Councilman Campbell and a second by Vice Mayor Osborne. Roll call, please, on A and D.
Vice Mayor Osborne,
Aye.
Councilmember Pizzillo,
Aye.
Councilmember Loretano,
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell,
Aye.
Councilmember Barber,
Aye.
Councilmember Stipp,
Aye.
Mayor Lord.
Aye.
Passes 7-0.
Thank you. Now, if you would take and go out, shut the door. You have to be out of the area. Thank you. Okay, now that Councilman Stiff has left the room, could I hear a motion for items B and C, please, and a second?
So moved.
Second.
I believe I heard a motion from Councilman Loretano and a second from Councilman Pizzillo. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Pizzillo,
Aye.
Councilmember Loretano,
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell,
Aye.
Councilmember Barber,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Osborne,
Aye.
Mayor Lord.
Aye.
Passes 6-0.
So, I guess somebody told. Right. Welcome back, Bill. All right, we'll go to the business agenda. The first item on the business is to consider the reappointment and appointments to the Board of Adjustment. Sherry Wayfield Sons will present. Whoop, is Sherry here? Oh,
Yeah, she's here.
Mayor, council members, thank you so much for your time this evening. As you know, we've had a few vacancies on the Board of Adjustment, and we've gone through a very nice process with the subcommittee, and we have before us this evening several new reappointments, if you will, to the Board of Adjustment. And so I present you with our candidates this evening.
all right, thank you. Are there any speaker cards? Would the audience like to speak on this item?
I have no speaker cards.
Thank you very much. Then I'm going to do this in two different motions, just to let you know, well, everybody know, right? So can I have a motion and a second to consider reappointing Nancy Harrington to the Board of Adjustments for a 3-year term expiring on October 31st, 2015, or until her successor is appointed and qualified?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion by Councilman Campbell and a second by Vice Mayor. Open for council discussion? Yes, Councilman Stipp?
Mayor, just a note for everybody actually in the audience and on the council. Councilmember Campbell and I sit on that selection committee. I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago when we recognized several of the volunteers. We have an amazing citizenry that is very qualified, that comes forward and volunteers, raises their hand and says, yes, I want to do it. And I'll kind of lump all of these together between the two Nancys, Sheila, Pete Lampier, Estelle, just phenomenal citizens, and we're very, very lucky. It was a long process. I think we interviewed 15 people or 12 people out of 17, or it was an incredibly long couple of weeks. So staff did a great job in supporting us, and we're very happy to bring these recommendations forward.
That's great. Thank you for your time that you've taken on. I know it is long, a number of hours to go through the applications and then the interviews. All right. Could I have all in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Now, we will wait until the end before we administer the oath of loyalty. So next is I need a motion and a second to consider appointing Nancy Burton, Sheila Kane, Peter Lampier, Estelle Beswick to the Board of Adjustments for a 3-year term expiring on October 31st, 2015, or until the successors are appointed and qualified. Open for council discussion.
Do you want a motion first?
Oh, sorry. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
I believe that was Councilman Stipp that made the motion, a second by Vice Mayor. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. So the city clerk, please administer the oath of loyalty. So if those people will please come forth.
And I need you to raise your right hands and then after me. I state your name. Do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of Board of Adjustment member according to the best of my ability. So I do affirm. Congratulations.
Before you go, can you just stay up here? I've asked the two that We're actually in the interview with you ladies to introduce you to the public. So if you will say their names and let the public see, we're trying to put this so the people at home can put your name with the face, and so they know who are serving, to whom are serving on this board. Go ahead, Bill.
You know, part of me says you're going to take one giant step forward and turn around and wave to the camera, but this is Nancy Harrington. Next to her is Nancy Burton, Estelle Beswick, and Sheila Kane.
Well, again, ladies, thank you very much for sacrificing your time and serving on this board.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, now we're down to item B, to consider approving the First Amendment to the Motorola contract to purchase radio equipment for the new communications center project in the amount of $708,741. Chris Nadeau to present.
Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, members of council, thank you very much for having me up here tonight to talk about this project.
Excuse me, Chris, will you tilt that mic up a little? Thank you.
Is that better?
Yeah, well, yeah,
Okay. I'll project.
thank you.
What we're going to talk about briefly is the next phase in a very long-running project that we've had working in the city that is now tied into the communications center project. To kind of touch base on this, bring us all back up to speed on where we are at with the project. This is actually a project that we started way back in 2007. We signed a governance document to become a plank owner, a founding member of the Regional Wireless Cooperative, the RWC. In 2008, the RWC was established, and through council action, we initiated the first two steps of that project, which was the purchase of portable and mobile radios, the radios the officers actually use out in the field. The radios we currently had in place were failing faster than we could replace them, and we could no longer get spare parts for them. So we went ahead and pulled the trigger on the first part of the project at that time to keep us going, and we purchased equipment that was compatible with the new system. Also in 2009, we started the detailed site design. As part of this overall project, we realized we were going to have to build some infrastructure, some radio towers. So we started that process with Motorola. That process took us a year and a half. By the time we got the design done, the site selected, went through a lot of efforts to actually choose a site, and then the Public and Planning and Zoning Commission hearings. To get there, that took us into fiscal year 10-11. We completed the design following those, again came back to council for action on the major part of the system, which was building of the tower, and about, if I remember right, about $2.5 to $3 million worth of infrastructure that went in at that time, which is a lot of radio and computer equipment in multiple sites across the Western Valley, 2 in town, 1 out of town, and then the new site down in Rainbow Valley, which I'm happy to say we finally accepted on, and it is now a city-owned piece of property, so that's very good news for us. We then moved into the next stage, which was transitioning the fire department onto this new infrastructure. They are dispatched, for those who don't know, by the city of Phoenix. So they were already compliant with the new system, so it was easy for us to transition the fire department over. That transition has operationally been complete, and now that they have the new system, they're figuring out the best places to use it. They're working with Phoenix Fire to kind of adjust how their operations work using the new radio system. Which takes us to the next step. We are ready to build our communications center, finally, thank you. And as part of that, we need to put new radio equipment in the communications center. Building the building and all that structure is great, but if I don't have the new radio gear to go in there, I'm still trapped in the 80s with the gear that I have now. So that's what we're bringing forward to you tonight, is the request to actually spend more of that money that was approved by council back in past years. Now we're going to spend it and work with Motorola to institute that. So why do we need to spend the money? Well, like I said, the gear we have, it's from the 1980s. It won't even work on the new system. We'd have $3 million worth of infrastructure that we still can't communicate on. So as part of that, this new radio structure, kind of holistically, what it gives is it takes us out of this little island of communications that we have now. I can only talk to my police officers in the field. They can only talk to me. What we want to be able to do is talk to our fire department, talk to other the police departments. We're routinely pulling in agencies, helicopters, SWAT teams, canines, you name it, and we're sending our guys to help other agencies. If we don't have a radio system that can interactively and interoperably communicate with those two, we have a problem. So we're doing a lot of Band-Aids and workarounds right now. So that's what this overall radio system does for us. The money we're asking you to approve tonight is for radio base stations, computer equipment, software, microwaves to tie it all together, training, service hours. It's a huge pile and effort of stuff we've asked Motorola to provide. And one of the interesting things that we've done is we started taking requests for quotes on this system back in 2010. I want to say we've probably been through 6 detailed quotes with Motorola, and they have stepped up to the plate, and our original quotes were over $1 million, and tonight we're only asking for $700,000. So it's taken us a while, but we've also whittled away at the price, so that's a very good thing. We always like saving money where we can. There is an O&M component to this particular piece. Obviously, we have maintenance after the 1 year, and then every piece of radio equipment that resides on the Regional Wireless Cooperative, where it's our portable or mobile radios for the officers or the radios we use in the communications center, we pay a fee to the Regional Wireless Cooperative. What that fee does is that is our maintenance and upgrade costs for the entire radio system. So we get access to currently about $160 million radio system at the cost of, for this gear, $2,500 a year. It's basically about $39 per month per item. So depending on how many radios we have, that cost will go up or down. So that would be the O&M for this purchase. We also, one other thing I wanted to bring up was there was a couple questions as to why didn't we do this back as soon as the tower got built. Well, the issue is if I took and purchased all of this equipment and put it in our existing communication center now, one, we'd have to find a place. We'd probably have to get rid of the break room to put equipment in there. We'd then have to tear it all out and move it again to put it into the new communication center. So it just made much more sense, and it was also more fiscally responsive. We probably saved $100,000 in services to not put it in and then move it. So that kind of brings us to where we're at today. I'll entertain any questions.
Great, thank you. That was a good presentation. I just was looking, as you were talking, I kept thinking about a number of years ago when you were drawing this out, if you remember.
I do. I remember those conversations.
I remember coming out in 2005. It seems to me it was soon after that because it was right at the time of the city center. And we were making decisions, city center or this. And, you know, the downturn's been tough. But you know what? There are a lot of ways we're saving money now because we would have done all that back then when the price was certainly way up. And so it is at a conservative rate now. So I guess it was meant to be, right?
Absolutely. I would love to say it was planned to take this long, but it has worked out well. Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I remember our conversations vividly on this.
Oh,
so
yes.
It's nice to see you in front of me and that we're actually going to do something like this. So it's great. So, okay. Are there any speaker cards? No. Okay. Would anybody from the audience like to speak? Okay. Then I would like to ask a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion by Vice Mayor Osborne, a second by Councilman Laura Tano. Open for council discussion. Councilman Mazzillo?
Can you put that one slide up just before you left there? I think you mentioned $1 million. I just want to make sure I understand that. Purchase price of $708. What was budgeted originally for that purchase?
This particular part of the project was originally budgeted for $1.3 million.
Okay.
We saved $300,000, which was basically an inflationary number we put in, and so they came in right at what we had anticipated. And then over the course of the last two and a half years, we've whittled them down to $700,000.
So the savings $250, $300? Because you say the
$300,000.
Okay. Is this impact fee funding?
Yes, it is.
Okay, which is no general funds going to this
Correct.
end. Okay. Overall, the total project at 2.9. What do you expect, or is it the whole thing's going to come in?
We still have, and that the total project funding you see there, 2.9. That's what's still available. That's what's left over after the first 3 phases.
Right.
We have a couple other big pieces left, the actual tower at the communications center and some other ancillary equipment, some consoles and that sort of thing. I hate to tie down to a number, but we're looking at coming in well under budget. I would say, I hate to commit myself, but probably in the six figures.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Councilman Loretano.
I just wanted to confirm. I remember when I took my tour of the 911, you told us that there were places in Estrella that if an officer was outside his car, he may not get service. And I think it's really important that the citizens know this is solving this problem for our citizens. So thank you very much. And thank you for saving us that money.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Osborne.
Well, that's what I was going to say, that, I really appreciate, I know that typically this would be one of those things that's like, I'm hearing about this again. It's been quite a few years, but at the same time, I'm glad it has taken this long, and you've done a good job, and I'd really like to just say, go spend that money now and get it taken care of. But, congratulations for doing a good job. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Just to echo, I appreciate the cost conscious and bringing it forward. It'll, to these prices. Thank you.
We all do. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, so we need to vote on this, so I haven't voted on this, right, yet? Did we vote on this? I don't have a roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. So you can breathe a relief. It's passed, so. Okay, that's it on the business. Now, we have a special meeting tonight, but before we do we have any council comments? Yes.
Well, first of all, I would just like to thank all of the staff that has been so helpful in the last week, getting me up to speed and informing me and really making me feel welcome in my new position here for the next 6 months. And I could not be any more grateful for how kind you have been to me. So thank you. I really appreciate it. And I also wanted to say the Walgreens opened in Estrella. On, I think it was Thursday or Friday. It's fantastic, and it's so nice to have some competition in the area. It's a beautiful store, and I don't know if you all know that CrossFit Fury has expanded over on Bullard, and for the past 4 years I've been watching Peter Edgett grow his business. I'm so proud of him and what he's done. So truly these businesses should be commended for doing a great job.
Thank you for bringing that up, Jennifer. Any other? Councilman Stipp?
I know for sure Councilmember Pizzillo and I attended the, hate to call it the grand opening, but the grand opening of the Southwest Advocacy Center last week.
Yes, I think we all went.
I didn't want to assume everybody else was there, but at different times we all were there. It's a shame that center has to exist, but in the grand scheme of it, if we have to have one, they have done an amazing job of moving that facility, getting it nicer than what they had before, plenty of space, and the additional partnership that we have with Maricopa County Sheriff's Office will only make their work stronger. And it was really an amazing tour.
I agree. I think all of us agree. We were just amazed. Yes. Councilman
I just wanted to piggyback. I have nothing new. I just want to piggyback. They do have a wish list. So like just things like Capri Sun or stuff, because they have a lot of kids through there. So they gave a copy of the wish list. I'll be more than happy to give to staff if anybody wants to
I think
pick up
that'd be
like a
good.
toy or something for Christmas. Just pick up an extra one for them.
Sure. Thank you. And you're going to do that?
Yeah, I
You're
can
going
send
to
it
the
out to
list?
staff.
All right, that would be great. Any other comments? All right, with that, I'm going to turn it over to the city manager. Anything to report to us?
Actually, probably a very rare moment. I do not tonight.
Oh,
so,
my goodness, a
but
speechless
thank-
city manager. I'm not sure I'm used to that.
I don't get paid by the word, hopefully. But no, nothing tonight.
And any action items you want to address with staff or
I had one.
Vice Mayor?
I'm in the weeds.
Now you
Yes.
can.
Now I can be in the weeds.
Retreat's over. You can go ahead and get in the weeds.
I'm going to have my weekly Joanne's in the Weeds comments. Actually, this was something I had mentioned to Brian, sent out. But, over the last couple years, we have really been working on the Shop Goodyear program. And with other cities and other communications out there, you know how you have Black Friday and you have Cyber Monday, which of course is today, and you have Small Business Saturday. I really think that even though it's gimmicky, it's something that we could really help jump on the bandwagon with, and that could be part of our Shop Goodyear campaign, just bringing it full circle, because it really is something that a lot of people recognize out there. That's just the comment I want to have.
I have a question for you, because I thought about that because I saw your email to us, that does our chamber, I mean, I would have thought that because when we were in California during Thanksgiving, I kept seeing the ads, and then I also saw the president of the Small Business Association speak out of Washington, and that was their big program. So I was curious.
Well,
Who
originally
have they contacted to say about
right.
this program?
Originally, it actually began with American Express. They actually were really pushing, which, I'll give credit to American Express for doing that. They were really trying to get, help the small businesses in that regard. A lot of people don't know that American Express costs more to merchants, but, regardless, they really were helping with that. The chamber itself is actually going to be really on a bandwagon of shop local, shop chamber. And so there is,
So that
going
ties
on
in
in
small
that, yes.
business. Okay. All right. Great. Well, I think now, before I adjourn this meeting, we have a special meeting tonight. And this hasn't been very long, so is everybody fine with no breaks? Okay, so I'm going to adjourn this meeting, and then I'm going to call another meeting. So this meeting is adjourned. And now I'd like to call to order Monday, November 26th, a special